Harimoto.
Not in my house, he says.
Coming out with some zone defense here to start the second quarter. Parks for three. Big step towards that if they can. Parks, soft touch.
Ramos. Launches from downtown. That's good for Dwight Ramos. Here's the drift and Ramos. Tough drive, Dwight Ramos.
His third rebound of the game alongside 8 points. Inside and one. Perfectly placed pass from Nick Kay. Pass inside to Kay. Soft right hand.
Loose hand off with Kawamura. Skips around the help. Kawamura for two. In and out dribble drive baseline. Kawamura. Oh, wow! A real challenge, a real mountain to climb. Pushing forward now. He's got room. Kicks to the corner. Harimoto. He steps back. Can he do it again? Oh my goodness, Harimoto! Right now, this is no different from the top of the three. Hiro Takayoshi. Right hand finish at the rim, using his height, using his size. Yoshi, Euro step, right hand, and again, that's his go-to move, that one.
スコットはそうですね、アンダー、フラットですね。むしろドライブを防ごうという感じでボールを奪って3対1のアウトナンバー。
内藤輝親16歳10ヶ月と20日 B リーグ最年少出場記録更新。高校2年生がコートに入りました。残り20秒を切りました。第3クォーター、内藤が当たっていく。このプレー、内藤輝親
いいディフェンスでしたね。ただ最後ファウルにはなりましたけど、
内藤がアタックいくか、自分でいくか、ステップバックからのシュートを放った。エアボールになる。ただロングがフォローアップしていました。
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Meet B.LEAGUE. I'm your host, B.LEAGUE's official basketball analyst, Chris Sasaki. We already took a deep dive into the highlights of the FIBA World Cup 2023 Asia Qualifiers. Team Philippines, Japan, Australia already a lock in the 2023 competition. And also, we haven't seen Rui Hachimura join the national team in Japan yet. I'm so excited for 2023, but also Yuta Watanabe in the Brooklyn Nets has been a sensation. He's been on fire so far. He's leading the NBA in three-point percentages, knocking down three-pointers from all around the court. Playing a bunch of crunch time minutes. He is third on the team in crunch time minutes, almost reminiscent of Lin's Sanity. Isn't it exciting? Also, something to look forward to is Jordan Clarkson from the Philippines. He has already played for the national team, but not in this window. But he is sure to play in 2023, right? I cannot wait to see Japan's national team in full effect and also Philippines in full effect in 2023. I hope I get a ticket to go to Philippines in the knockout round. Okay, and let's move on to B.LEAGUE action. After a 3-week hiatus from the Window 5 competition, the B1 action is back in full effect. Who's been having a fabulous season so far is Pelin Buford on the Shimane Susano Magic. Pelin has been always playing on an MVP level in this B1 league, but he was rewarded with the October's monthly MVP finally. On October 22nd versus Shibuya Sunrockers, he had an amazing feat, a triple-double, 30-point triple-double with a perfect field goal makes of 11 for 11. And also, he made all of his free throws. It's never been done even in the NBA. What a historical performance. He's a natural small forward, but can guard opponents' power forwards and centers. This is a very underestimated part of his game. He is a very good rebounder. On the day that he had the triple-double, he actually had 2 steals and 4 blocks as well, with 17 rebounds. He is exactly the total package. Talking about cool feats in the B-League, somebody close to you had a B-League career high of 24 points. I'm talking about Matthew Wright from Kyoto Hanaris. I sat down and chopped it up with him. Let's take a look.
That's a nice cut. Diallo there with a slam. Matthew Wright. What an acrobatic shot this time from Matthew.
I felt very comfortable out there. Confidence is definitely growing at reading the plays and knowing where I'm going to get my shots offensively. And I'm starting to settle into my role now on the team. I think that there was a learning curve for me to come into the B-League. It's a different game. It's much different than the leagues that I've played in before. So I had to just sit back and watch some film, learn what I was doing right and wrong. And, the coaches do a great job of preparing me for the shots that I'm going to be taking this season. So we work on those repetitively. So I'm able to get into a rhythm now. We go by a motto. We say "Kawaranai," which means unbreakable. It's just a mentality that no matter what is going on in the game, good or bad, we remain the same. Coach Roy has done a good job of instilling a good competitive nature within practices. Our practices are very competitive. They're very intense. And I think that that type of attitude and mentality bleeds into the games. Everybody's committed and the competitive spirit is there. And I think that's what's brought us to the next level.
Kawaranai, unbreakable. I love the mantra. I can feel it. Could you talk about the success in defense in your team so far?
Well, Coach Roy and the rest of the coaching staff put a lot of emphasis defensively. And, everywhere he's been known as a defensive coach, all the teams that he's coached. So, at first it was difficult for us to buy into. It's very demanding. But I think the last time I checked the stats, we were one of the top 10, top 5 defensive teams in the league, which is a good sign.
Sometimes you guys are playing 4 guards, 4 perimeter players. You guard Shefa Avikoki, national team center sometimes during Mikawa game.
TJ was down with an injury, so we kind of had to go a little small. The coaching staff trusted that I was strong enough to guard Schaefer. It was quite a challenge. But I feel that I'm able to, as a guard, I'm able to guard, 1 through 4. And, that's just some of the versatility that I take pride in. Just being strong enough to, at least push them out. And I think once we get our offense rolling, which we showed in Hokkaido how well we can score the ball. I think once we get that on top of the defense down pat, I think we're going to be a very dangerous team. This is the first time I've actually been the oldest player on the team. It makes me feel old when I think about it. We have great young Japanese players who are going to be good. So my role is just to try to help these guys maximize their potential, by going at them in practice, being tough on them. It's a lot of tough love. That's my love language. But, I try to be on these guys because I know how good they can be, and I know that it'll help the team out in the future. So to try to take a leadership role, just try to do that through work ethic, by seeing them seeing me in the gym working hard. I think that will be my legacy, really, is to try to help the younger guys, try to reach for the stars.
So there you have it, guys. I sat down with Matthew Wright. I really enjoyed the conversation with him. You can tell how intelligent he is and also very professional in how he carries himself. You can see he's a very calming and steady influence on his team. His team is such a young team, but his professionalism is most needed on the team. I think he's been a big influence as a leader on the team so far. Kyoto, up until now, has been a good defensive team, just like Matthew has been mentioning, but against Hokkaido, they've been scoring some bunch. Once they get the scoring together, Kyoto is a team you cannot underestimate in the Western Conference. Since we're talking about Filipino players, let me share my take on the Asia quota. This regulation was introduced to the B.LEAGUE in 2020. Up until then, in the B.LEAGUE, 2 foreign players were allowed to play on the court, and also a naturalized player was also allowed to share time on the court. Other than that, players outside of Japan weren't allowed to stand on the court, but since we have the Asian quota now, players from Indonesia, Korea, China, and also Philippines has stepped on the court. In the B.LEAGUE, before we had the Asian quota, most of the overseas players were inside or big men that played power forward or center position. But the B.LEAGUE envisioned to create more competition in the wings and ball handling positions. Now we have Asian players such as the Philippines that can actually run the point guard and small forward position. This creating a matchup against Japanese wings and ball handlers against foreign ball handlers and wing players. Naturally, creating more competition in these positions would raise the level in the league. I really feel a good influence in the B.LEAGUE. I hope this trend continues. Playing under the regulation of the Asian quota, Kiefer Lavina is a key player in this B.LEAGUE. Kiefer went against one of the biggest clubs in Japan, Ryukyu Golden Kings. And this reviewed the strengths of Ryukyu Golden Kings. So this is my analysis segment. Alright, today we're breaking down the Ryukyu Golden Kings, but the first thing I need to mention about the Kings is that they have a great defense. On points per possession allowed basis, Ryukyu Golden Kings has the lowest points per possession. Last season, they were number 2 as well. Especially today, I'm going to talk about their pick and roll defense. We have Kiefer handling the ball here. His teammate is going to come up and set a ball screen. The first thing I look at is this defender. He is the defender of this screener. He does not come out to the line of the screen. This is called a drop coverage. Some might say it's a contained defense or conservative defense. What this type of defense is aiming for is a hard pressure on the ball handler and also taking away this rim roller. Kiefer is still dribbling, looking to pass the ball. For a split second, it's 2 against 1. But in this situation, Shiga's spacing is very poor. This guy can guard 2 at the same time. Because of the poor spacing, number 34 is recovering and he comes to Kiefer. And by this time, the screener's defense doesn't allow this dive to happen, is already preparing to rebound. Kiefer is forced to take a tough mid-range jump shot with the defender side by side. This is not an ideal shot in a pick and roll situation. In pick and rolls, you want to drive straight to the basket or give a dump down to the rolling big man. In this system, another strength is that there are very few rotations. This defender in the corner didn't move at all. This guy sees the ball, but also his opponent isn't a threat. Over here, he might seem open, But I think Jack Cooley really timed this well. He waited until the ball handler jumped up into the air to fully commit into the paint. Ryukyu is limiting the opponent's shot selections very well. And when there's no rotations, it also gives a good chance of boxing out and containing the defensive rebounding. Kiefer this day, he ended up shooting 6 times, but wasn't able to make a field goal. Ryukyu was able to contain Kiefer. Also, when I look at Ryukyu, we cannot talk about the Kings without mentioning their offensive rebounds. They are really good at crashing the boards. Jack Cooley, he is like a bulldozer. Right now, he's averaging over 12 rebounds totally, and 5.5 are offensive rebounds. But the true key is actually hidden in the team's drive situation. So let's take a look at that. Imamura is holding the ball on the top of the key. Jack Cooley starts running to set a ball screen. He sets the ball screen, but suddenly starts rolling to the basket. This man is showing a little bit to contain the drive, but the ball handler's defense is already late. This guy only showed for a second, opening up the drive. Imamura saw an open lane to the basket, and now let's look at what happens with Jack Cooley. Imamura going straight to the basket, attempting the layup. This guy, he reaches out but unable to block the shot. That opens up Jack Cooley for an easy offensive rebound and putback. You can see these kind of situations throughout the game when you're watching a Kings game. Now Maki is a ball handler, and now Darlam is the one that's setting a ball screen. The ball screen occurs, but Maki decides to reject the ball screen, meaning going opposite, because he sees his man is overplaying. Once Maki starts driving, it seems like they have contained him, but hasn't recovered 100%. Jack Cooley's defender, he jumps up a little bit late to attempt the block. This opens up Jack Cooley for an offensive rebound again, and he's very good around the rim for putbacks. This is another sequence that the Ryukyu Golden Kings, Jack Cooley is going to grab an offensive rebound. There's a quick pass back on the top, going straight into a ball screen. Kishimoto tries this, but they step out, enabling to drive straight. But Cooley is already diving, trying to gain good position inside. What happens now is Kishimoto's defender is still recovering. Kishimoto will use this as his advantage, countering his balance, taking a drive. Cooley is battling for position, opening up this driving lane for the second time. Kishimoto might seem unbalanced a little bit with a tough contest on the shot, but recognize that Cooley has 2 feet inside the paint, very close to the no charge circle. This is a very good position to go for the offensive rebound. He grabs another rebound right here. So during the game, Ryukyu's guards, multiple guards will drive aggressively, knowing that once they get in the air and try to get the attention of the big men, Cooley will have a better position for offensive rebound. There's an ecosystem or a synergy amongst these players, and it's a huge threat for opposing teams. Finally, I selected a scene that the defense tried to take away the drive and also the offensive rebound. But let's see what happens then. Same kind of set play, ball on the top, ball screen, Kishimoto starting to drive. There's a 2-on-1 situation here. He is not stopped yet. Jack Cooley has a straight line to the basket. He could be alley-oop threat and also could become an offensive rebound threat. Now the offense is also putting pressure on this defender. He has a decision to make. Either tag Jack Cooley to stop him from diving and give up the 3-pointer on the outside, or staying home with his defender, leaving Cooley open. Let's see what he decides to do. He gravitates more to Cooley. Kishimoto makes the right read, kicking out the ball, opening up Imamura for the wide open 3-pointer. bang. This tells a lot and speaks a lot about Ryukyu's dynamic offense. First and foremost, you need to stop their drive in order to contain their offensive rebound, but also it almost feels like pick your poison. So what will you do? Alright, let's take a look at the B1's current standings. For the past few seasons, the B-League regular season has gone down to the wire to the very last game. Maybe in December when we play 11 games, we will see the true faces of all the different teams. As an analyst, when we pass the 20-game point of the season, some of the data like opponent three-point field goal percentages or turnover rates, these kind of settle down. This is when I get a good grasp of what the teams are trying to do and how they are doing it on the court. Alright, let's take a look at some key games in December. Please circle on December 16th and 17th. This is a marquee matchup against Kawasaki Brave Thunders and Utsunomiya Brex. This is last season's championship semifinals rematch. The key to Kawasaki is getting the team healthy. A lot of the members are being injured in October and November. Also, Brex had a slow start to the season. They had to part ways with Julian Mabunga, and head coach Sasa has gradually settled down the team. Let's see how they do in December. Another key matchup will be December 28th against Cyan Neo Phoenix and Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, two teams that have championship aspiration. 30 finding his new role with the Cyan Neo Phoenix, and also Ray Parks Jr. being a good defender, running in fast break, but also handling the ball from time to time, making the Nagoya such a dynamic offensive team. So please check out the B.LEAGUE official YouTube channel. Hey guys, that's a wrap for this episode of Meet B.LEAGUE. Let's see you next time. See ya!